So I'm seeing something like ridiculously clearly. It's the understanding that it's not anywhere near done yet. Like it's not even like I haven't even used this one time. This is like something which is like the only way this has been thought of as this is something which needs to be thought about next time we get a chance to get on the bike. And we haven't had a chance to get on the bike, so this is very, very, very unpolished, unusually unpolished, even versus the other ones I've called unpolished. But it's just like the whole thing that I was. So well, first, I guess I should say this: going back through these pictures over the last couple of days, um, has made me feel so much better about everything. Um, as far as being able to see the old eras and being able to like literally, it's actually kind of insane. Just being able to see the memes that I screenshotted during
Yeah.
these high points of my life. It's such a beautiful insight into what I was actually thinking, feeling at the time, which was exactly what I'm feeling now. Like you see, I can see so clearly, even in my highest points, that I can feel the impending deterioration, and I was just coming off of an impending deterioration. It's like there was never the golden age that I thought there was. There was never really a point where everything was perfect. Which it's obvious in retrospect, but it sure wasn't obvious a couple months ago. And yeah, it just I just feel so much better after understanding that it's like no, I really kind of am at a peak right now. This kind of really is the apex of where I've ever been, and even though it doesn't feel unbelievable. It's just because I'm at a point where I understand even there's no peak, there's no mountaintop which is going to be the end of climbing. Right? It's like I'm at the point where I understand that there is no one final answer. It's just about gradients, and it's about trying to get to the best gradient. And right now, I've got the information I need to get to higher gradients than I've ever been before, even if I'm not um, consistently on a higher gradient. I have the ability to get there with the information I have now. It's greater than the information I had at these other times. Anyways, that's all retarded. Point of what I'm saying is, the framework that I'm seeing so clearly is that any time that I've ever been based, I view myself as retarded. Like all of my highest points, I'm not taking myself seriously. I'm not thinking like I'll in all my lowest points, I continually think like, how do I get to God? And like this is doing the sound or you cut out. So
Yeah, I can hear you.
hello, hello,
Hello, I can hear you.
hello.
Hello, 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 hello. Hello, I'm
Cunt.
speaking.
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. God, fucking damn, I hate Discord. I fucking hate it. I just had to disconnect my fucking headphones, so now I gotta hold the phone in one fucking hand and drive this giant behemoth of a truck. Fucking retardation. Um, so when did I cut out? What was that thing you heard me say?
Say again.
What the fuck? God.
So can you hear me right now? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello.
You cannot hear me right now? Can you hear me right now?
Hello. I could
Hello?
hear you before you didn't have to disconnect. It was, I don't know what it's doing. I'm not even gonna try to explain. It's a waste of time. It's just some stupid Discord glitch as always. Um, so the discovery is that, like I was just saying, you've heard me bring up a lot, the idea of all my ups. I understand the fact that, um, the chase is what creates the separation, and that you must perceive the desire to see yourself as God as another facet of God instead of buying into it and endlessly reaching towards God. Um, the more separation you create in your mind, the more you will exhaust yourself trying to reach the finish line, which
Yeah.
you not real. And so like, that's something you hear me talk about a lot. But this framework goes beyond that, and it says it's not about chasing. It's about religious belief in any capacity, in the same respect that philosophy is not any more correct than science, is not any more correct than mathematics. Religion is also not any more correct, and it's also just an expression, one category of language, not an actual category of existence. It's the truth that it speaks of is not any higher than the truth mathematics speaks of. Um, it is a bit closer because of other people's preconceptions that come with God, but in all actuality, God is not any closer than the set of all sets. And the times whenever you perceive God as God with a capital G and not just God as a pseudonym for what he actually is. What are we doing letting out a billion children, a billion miniature children fucking in the middle of the road? Why? Hold on. I'm here. Where are you? Where are you?
I'm over here.
Hello!
You talking to someone else right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to get this dumb bitch outside and pick up Lexi. You there?
Yes, I am.
Are you still?
No.
Um, so, essentially by disconnecting from religious um analogies, or not even disconnecting from them, but just disconnecting from them as more accurate or more important than other analogies and perceiving them all as merely analogies. Um, that's when the best eras happen. Whenever like God is something like in our worst eras, everything's serious. Everything is like, no, God is real and no one can see him and it's so clear. And then our best eras, it's like there's no difference between like seeing and not seeing God. There's not enlightened and non-enlightened people. There's no like it's all just funny. It's all just like um it's all just a joke. It's just all different flavors of slop, and everyone's forced to eat it. And it's just like there's no it's just so it's so much less serious. Whenever you dissociate from the religious perspectives as
Yeah.
being the foremost ones. But basically that's tied in with another framework, which is the concept of comedy being the yeah, I'm clicking the unlock button, you dumb bitch. Roll the fucking window down. Roll. Roll it down yourself, you stupid cunt.
What's the point? Instead of making me walk all the way out here.
You need to burn the calories.
Yeah, okay, so don't even want to go to practice because the poor baby back is hurting.
Yes, it is. Okay,
You
yeah, tell him to, well, you can't now. I can text me when he's there next time. I don't know. I can text him on Instagram. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay, anyway, I think that, yeah, so that's tied in with the concept that the comedy is the only, like, in other words, the question has always been, oh, there's a fucking police officer behind me. The question is always like, how the fuck am I getting pulled over? I just started going at 5 miles an hour. Uh, the God, what the question has always been, what would God experience? This moment as what would God like the question, like what I was saying the other day, where instead of doing a framework, you do a script, and it's like, what would God think, and you just override what you think with what God would think, and that is its own kind of framework, and that's like the first one. That's like the original, and that one we're still trying to get to similar effects of that one. The only issue with that one is it takes time to be able to think what would God think about this, and then integrate that over what you think about this, which is what we try to overcome with the like structure of mathematical type frameworks that are less about overriding and more about changing the preconceptions to where they generate the right response without need to override. And the funny would be the way that God would express everything, even though he would experience every moment as every emotion. God would not experience any particular emotion more than any other one. He would experience all of them equally simultaneously, but his expression would always be comedy because God would only express himself in the most efficient way, and the most efficient way to express yourself will always be comedy. Anyways, as you can see, that's a super undercooked framework. Like you can hear whether I'm talking about it. It's like 9 things jumbled together, held on by a string. But it's I think that will be the future, even though I don't understand it, can't
Is it a
explain it
framework
yet.
with a name or like what is it exactly?
No, it's nothing yet. What it's going to become eventually is it's going to get integrated into the pyramid. What the way I'm thinking about doing that now is you overcome religious analogies by making the top layer of the pyramid not have a name, and make Braxel specifically talk about it as like a space between words, like specifically talking about it, not using the words God, but using like some other term which indicates like the not even like the one, because like I don't want him to indicate like the aggregate of all things. I want it to be just like the the thing which is beneath all other things. You know what I mean? Like the fundamental thing instead of like the thing which is all things.
Could
It's
you
kind
say
of
like
more
the
around
source
prioritize
code or source or something like that?
something like that. I want it to be. I mean, he can just call it Exasics for, you know what I mean, all we care about. But anyways, or just nothing. He can just say it doesn't have a name. Don't call it a name. Just to call it something else. Call it something different every time, but just don't call it a
What
name.
if he
So
what if he calls it just like a kind of a completely secular term, the ooze?
yeah, I still like it's that's all up in the air. It'll all what that falls on will depend on lots of other things. I can't name it yet
Yeah.
because the fifth step in the bottom of the pyramid will need to be figured out before you name it, because like I said, I was thinking about making the fifth step on the bottom of the pyramid framework ooze, and because I wouldn't have called it framework ooze, I would have probably called it something just like the ooze or something like that. Or maybe I call that maximum efficiency principle too. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing there, but that's tied in as well. So I didn't even bring up the story correlates of this, but so you have um Larry is expressing. Dude, you know what's funny? I bet Shock doesn't even remember coming up with the name Larry. Like we have a character that's named after his direct input, and it's like I bet he doesn't even remember. That's funny.
What was the context? What did he say it for?
He said this is exactly what he said. He said that we should change a Cythriel
Uh-huh.
or Xatrix's name to Larry because he thought that it would be better to not take ourselves seriously. Like
Yeah, more like a
he thought we were
relatable name.
yeah, he thought we were getting too thus spoke, so he wanted to go with
Uh-huh.
Reddit. Um, but
I remember when
yeah,
you were telling him about Exasic and stuff, he called it arrogant or something like that.
yeah. That's always his thing. It's always his thing. He'll hear something that he agrees with, and because he has an aversion to believing anything in particular, he'll call the part of himself which enjoyed that idea arrogant instead of integrating it. Um, but uh, so as far as the story goes, I want to focus. I want to focus a Cythriel entirely on the religious understandings. I want to focus Larry entirely on the framework understandings, like purely. I don't know what to even call that. It's not philosophical. It's not anything. That would just be like the beginning of our journey, whatever that was. It's a whole different weird thing where it's like you just forgo truth. That's another thing I was thinking. Changing the maximum efficiency principle to be called efficiency over truth, because that really is a better explanation for what it is. Um, it isn't just the pursuit of maximum efficiency. And to say that, like, in other words, before I tried to get religious with it, and I tried to say, um, the maximum efficiency principle. You could see it across all living things and all that gay shit, but I'm gonna scrap that completely. Got that from the first layer of the pyramid because I want um I want the first layer of the pyramid to be entirely a-religious. I want it to be entirely like what my first encounter with God was like, which was like, okay, well, I am done with being depressed. Being depressed is gay, so I'm going to forgo, even though the fundamental beliefs which my depression rests upon, the concept that my future is probably botched, that I was born in a time period where there's no avenue for creative expression. Um, that World War III is likely around the corner. Um, like like death is inevitable. It's if I live to be old enough, I'm just going to be dying of dementia. And what's preferable is dying early. So you might as well like make your life fun. Like all of these like cynical ideas that are really like not that incorrect. Fundamentally. Um, I just decided that like it just wasn't. I just don't care. I don't care. It's not about. I don't care about being right if that is forgoing feeling good. So I'm done. Like I will still perceive the fact that those beliefs are predicated upon fundamental truths, and yet I will forgo experiencing them. I will just choose to experience beliefs that are set on other axioms without believing the axioms themselves. It was like the ability to detach from the uh, beliefs at the bottom and detaching from um, any any individual notion of truth and just molding truth to whatever would best fit individual circumstances.
Right. Right.
And um, so that's really what the first step of the bottom of the pyramid is it's truth, it's efficiency over truth, it's forgoing truth to believe in whatever truth is going to get the job done at the time you need it. And so that is what I want to make that's what we need to rebuild the first layer of the pyramid to be entirely. And honestly, you know what's funny? The first layer of the pyramid, which is the 5 steps, it's the hand framework. It was built in Walmart because basically this was me discovering the same thing where I was discovering that like and this would have been like a year ago now, which is terrifying. Which is that uh I was so much better off. This ties into like another framework I've been working with called reverse engineering, which is the idea of like you like you can believe in a God framework, but to get to that God framework, you're not going to attempt to replicate God. You're going to attempt to find whatever human frameworks best fit that challenge, and then reverse engineer how God would do it from there. So it's like your ego is better suited to find human solutions. So if you are trying to figure out how to, I don't know, land a good elbow or whatever, and you want to um and you are testing different variations, then you can like think of like how would God throw an elbow, and then you get confused because like, oh, God doesn't have elbows, like a retard. Or you could go, okay, well, so this feels the best. This elbow feels good. This elbow feels a little better. This elbow feels a little better. And then you can go, okay, so if God were to analyze the last three elbows and were try to deduce a pattern of um what was correct in between these. It really doesn't happen like that. It's more just like your human ego develops how to hit the best elbow, tries to develop how to hit the best elbow, and then your gut. And this ties into another idea, which is like a brain one, brain two, which this is a 2-year-old idea, which is the concept that you have the God ego and then you have the regular ego, and that both will always exist, and it's actually impossible to either pick one or the other, and that you need to actually be functioning on both levels simultaneously. Which, so what that would mean is that you're always going to have your ego yapping, and then you're always also going to be able to have um something watching that yapping and judging that yapping, a Demoinian, like Socrates or whatever, just like a judging force that's constantly going over what the ego's saying. You can just tell this is very infantile. It's very large. It's very vast.
But
It's
yeah, I
not
remember that
ready.
idea. Like it makes sense. Like needing a balance between the God ego and the regular ego.
Yeah. Where it's like instead of trying to be like the human ego needs to be the God ego, or the God ego needs to be integrated into the human ego, you just go, they can just both exist separately, and then I can let them interplay off each other. Um, But yeah, so in general, the focus is just returning to the original frameworks, returning to, because it's
Oh,
basically
and that
like
and that goes
what
back to
each.
like the left brain, right brain stuff, where it's just like just
Yeah.
viewing the same situation with the left brain versus the right brain, which would view it as more godlike, but using it under a scientific principle.
Yes. Yes, precisely. And but so what I was discovering in that Walmart was that I was better off thinking about, I was better I was it was easier to get to God by thinking of myself as a human trying to taste the best thought texture than it was by trying to think of myself as a human who was God. Like I would get more consistently statistically uh oh, you there? Weird. I don't want screenshot. Oh,
You start from the bottom
um
up rather than up to down.
yeah, where it's like the best way to get to God is not by thinking about how you're God, because by thinking about how you're God, you're thinking about you as one thing and God as another thing. The best way to get to God is just by pursuing the best thought texture at all costs. And then guess what? Now you're God, because what does God do? God pursues the best thought texture at all costs. So by selfishly pursuing the best thought texture at all costs, regardless of anything else, you will naturally become God. Um, so I mean, it's really that simple, and it's like the bottom of the pyramid now. What the bottom of the pyramid is supposed to represent is just the regular framework, the base framework. That's all Larry's going to talk about. Larry's going to say nothing religious, nothing about how he's in the simulation, nothing about anything that would indicate um anything metaphysical. He's going to stick purely to the frameworks. And so the bottom layer of the pyramid is now going to represent that just purely selfish motivation, that purely framework optimization, purely um just selfish pursuit of the best thought texture. I used to call it divine selfishness. Um but yeah,
And would
so
Larry
for
ever
that,
realize the upper layers, like perhaps in death, as he simulates into the simulation?
no, I find that really gay. I don't ever like that. Like
Uh huh.
It's like in other words, like do we ever see the simulation? You know what I mean? It's like you're like destroying the metaphor by doing that. It's like the metaphor is supposed to be that like in the same way we are in a quote unquote simulation, he is in a quote unquote simulation. But if you make him see the actual simulation, then it stops being like a metaphor and starts being like just like a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It makes sense because like there's people, you have psychedelic experiences, religious experiences,
Yeah, but
stuff
like
that's
But it's like, how would he ever know that? Like, why would his like you got to think like why would his dimension, why would its laws of physics render themselves as capable of perceiving this like
I think it'd
or
just be
what
in
he feels?
general any sentient being has the ability to see that if they are under the right configurations.
But no, but then you're breaking. But Trevor, like just by saying that, you've already made the whole thing retarded. Like it's like if you do that, then it stops being a metaphor. Like if you make it where anyone can just see that they're in a simulation,
Not
then you've
anyone, but
broken
like in the
God.
same situations that we do. Like let's say there's a
Yeah,
drug in
but
this
we
world.
don't. We don't see we're in a simulation because we're not in a simulation. The whole point is to say that he isn't in one simulation. Like the code that he comes from the equation, which has nothing to do with the simulation. So it's like really he isn't in a simulation. The simulation is just replicating the basic fundamental substance, which can form itself into anything. And all the simulation is doing is it's just doing the same thing that God is doing. It's not God. The simulation isn't God. It's just trying to replicate God under human
But
physics,
not
and
like
it's using
because
energy
it
to
is
do
an
that.
analogy in the microcosm, and in the sense that the example is a simulation, and that there is a interconnected simulation that he is a part of, in the same way that there is a reality that's from an underlying source that we are a part of. So I don't see the disconnect.
It's that if you leave it where he can never see the other reality, then it is just like us. We don't know what the next layer above us is. We'll never know. Maybe the next layer above us is an algae carpet. Maybe the next layer above us is some infant woodland creature in an unimaginable dimension who's daydreaming as it digests its prey, who's more conscious than we could ever dream of. Like maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's anything else. You know what I mean? But it's like we don't know. We'll never know. Maybe we're in Rick's car battery. We'll never know. It's like the second he knows, then he's not like us. The whole point is that he isn't supposed to know because the whole point is to say that like he isn't in the simulation any more than that is in another simulation, any more that that is in another algae carpet, any more than that is in the mind of quote unquote God, which is in the mind of quote unquote God, which is in the mind of quote unquote God, which is the organization of particles in a universe where everything is aggregated into one giant Boltzmann brain, which is dreaming of a computer which has self-organized itself to run a program which executes a lifelike simulation of what I mean a universe where the evolution has forged a population which is capable of simulating another reality. Like in other words, but the second you make him just like break out of the bounds of one reality and make him go, look, I've seen the bigger picture, then it sounds like we're talking about like an Elon Musk simulation theory, which is not what we're talking about. We're talking about like
I
layers on
guess the
top of
simplest
layers on
idea is
top.
that he understands: is there a one underlying source that all of reality is from? Like that's the most basic thing
Yeah,
that you
but
can learn
then
from meditation or psychedelics or reading any book. It's like
The
that.
answer the answer is yes, but also no. As in like you're saying that as if that is different from frameworks. So no, does he ever learn that one thing? No. But is that one thing different than
But so like
from
in that
frameworks?
world, are there intense cosmic psychedelics, like alien psychedelics in that world? Yes or no? And does he ever indulge? Does he ever learn stuff from that in the story? Because if no, then I guess
Intense
that makes sense.
okay, I didn't think so, but let's say yes, because I don't understand. I just want to pursue this and see. Let's say hypothetically the answer is yes, that he did and did. What then? What are you saying?
Let's say he does the equivalent of 1,000,000 times of 5-MeO DMT, and he his experiences that are very similar to the experiences of our experiences, where they see their connection to reality, they see uh, higher aspects of reality, they see different things that they couldn't comprehend before, um, and they
Yeah,
learn insights
but
from
it's
that.
like
So does he do that?
yeah, but
But Trevor, okay, by you saying that he's capable of perceiving the fundamental nature of reality by doing psychedelics, you're already painting a wrong picture. Like
Does he
you're
at least learn?
already
But I'm not saying he
destroying the
understands
whole.
it all. Like he could be a very fragmented person, and as why he
No,
doesn't see
he
the full
has to
picture.
understand nothing. The whole point is that you can't understand anything. Like, okay, that we're getting into like ridiculous levels of nuance, right? It's not even your fault. It could be language breaking down, but it is also like obviously no, he can't see anything because to say that you can see anything implies that there's something to see, and the whole point is that you shouldn't be looking for anything in particular. You should be blind. God is blind.
But it's like
Like
when you look out into the world and you see everyone talking about the same thing, you realize that there's something in this world that's connecting everything. So why wouldn't there be something in that world that connects everything that you could realize
it's
through
not
stuff like that?
about it connects everything. It's that it is everything. Like you're
Right, but
saying
so why
that
couldn't
there's
he
a thing
realize
which
that?
does this thing. It's not a thing which does a thing. It is all things. Like what? What are you saying?
Like why does like if in a conversation we were discussing the insights of an experience of psychedelics or his frameworks, like would he
Yes.
agree? Like I
Yeah, yes. I don't feel like that is your question still. I don't feel like that is your question. I don't feel like that it wasn't your question. I feel like your question is still not answered by me saying that yes, he does. Like, do you feel like your question is answered?
um
Like, I feel like that's obvious. Like, yes, of course. Like, does he is he correct? Yes. But what it felt like you were asking was does he have any amount of knowledge of a Cythriel's dimension in
no, I'm
any
not saying
respect?
understanding of Cithra's dimensions, and just the idea that not even that there's a
Sir, but that's a
technological
necessary
implication.
prerequisite. That, it's like, okay, it's like, yes, he has the part of that which comes from just doing frameworks, is the answer. Like, yes, does he have that? Does that come with frameworks? Yes, and yes. Does he have the part of that which doesn't come from frameworks? No, because he only has frameworks. But you see what I mean? It's like, does he have religious understandings? Would you have religious understandings if you were only had frameworks? Like, would he agree with the Taoist? Would you agree with the Taoist if you'd only ever experienced frameworks? Yes, you probably explained it a little differently and you would have never thought about it from their perspective. But yes, if you heard them say it, you'd probably go like, yeah, I mean, it's not so much a one as it is an inseparability, but yeah, you guys are pretty much spot on. Like that's what he would say. It's does he understand the nature of reality? Yes. But does he understand the nature of reality in any way which is anything beyond just seeking the most efficient thing selfishly? No. So complicated.
Yeah, so he doesn't have any particular experience that like proves it.
No, we don't.
I don't know, man. I there's a distinct memory that I feel like I that proves it to me enough that I don't
No,
see anything else.
no. And not just that, but even believing that is like a way to get to incorrect places. Like,
But it's like
no,
okay,
you
so
didn't see.
there's an experience I had. One of the first few times I did sub one. It was August 14th, almost 2 years ago. I felt like I saw the underlying source of reality, like the complete darkness, complete void, this thing that underlies everything, from a silence from which everything can come, the absolute potential from everything. There was no
Yep,
religious, technical, philosophical connotation. It was just reality. It was just existence. It was just me.
yep.
And if
And
I
like,
could learn
do
that,
you think
some
that
random guy from some random substance, why couldn't some lizard in a galaxy do that?
several answers? You didn't learn that from psychedelics. You could have learned that entirely from frameworks. You probably, um, actually, no, you definitely didn't ever do sub one without already having the prerequisite spark
Well, of course, I had
of
the
the religion.
intellectual cognition of it before, but that it was beyond medical, more beyond mental cognition.
So, do you think that what happened was your neurons lined up in a way that was actually metaphysically meaningful. Like what you're saying
in a way that, like,
is
yes, in the way that it shuts off the brain as a substance of reality that is supposed to see reality. It
but, like,
opened up so that I
no,
could see more
it's
of it.
still a delusion. It's still a delusion. Oh, like in what are you correct in the sense that the thing that you saw is more statistically accurate? If you were to compare the experience of God, would it be more comparable to the thing that you're talking about than to other experiences in your daily life? Yes. Would it be significantly more statistically relevant? Also, yes. Does that make it a religious experience? Yes. Does that mean that that religious experience has any actual element of truth? Absolutely not. Like, no.
But
Like, in the
let's say
same.
that it doesn't. But like the very least, that same truth can be found through any other means, whether it's meditation or a stroke or other psychedelics or yoga or any other thing. Why, if they're all saying the same thing and there's people been saying it for thousands of years, why would that be thrown away?
Because they're not saying anything. No one's saying anything. They should have shut the fuck up. Like,
But
we're
that's
not
what that's
like.
the ones that the smarter ones were saying that. The smarter ones were saying exactly what I saw.
Yes, yes, that's true. So, do you think that that would not perfectly meet what I just said a couple minutes ago, which is that yes, it is statistically more accurate to the underlying? It's like, yes, is it closer? Yes. Was whenever I did sub 1 and I saw on sub 3, or whenever I did sub 3 and when I saw that everything was a fractal, was that actually extremely similar to the nature of God? Yes. Was that a almost perfect analogy? Yes. Whenever I saw the mad pattern or the thrashing, I still to this day think the thrashing is a better analogy than anything else ever. That primal, raw understanding of God as an entity with a plastic bag over his head, uh, duct taped to a chair, where he's just writhing and thrashing in agony at the loneliness of non-existence, and he needs existence. It's not like whenever you that is the best understanding of God. That one shit stomps anyone else's ever. God is not a powerful thing. He's not um a force to be reckoned with. He isn't the silence which underlies all things. He's none of that. He's like a scared, like below or above whatever perspective you're at that moment version of a child. It's like he's so much less than an animal, so much less than a child. um I bet if it's anything, it's like a mushroom, if mushrooms have any experience at all. It's like just pure unbridled experience, and that experience is the fear of non-existence, and that experience of the fear of non-existence is what creates existence. And that isn't even because the nature of reality is fear, or the nature of reality is to evade non-existence. It's just because any experience of existence would necessarily come from the desire to be free from non-existence. That fear, that suffering, that thrashing, that plastic bags taped over God's head is inevitable, not because that is the nature of God, but because that is the necessary nature of anything that could be God. Anything that could escape non existence must have that innate fear of non existence and must have the desire to escape it at all costs. It must have that animalistic, cornered nature. That is the best explanation, the best analogy for God ever. Was my experience in those moments closer than it is right now? Was it closer than almost anyone ever? Is it closer to the thing that every other genius has said? Is it almost exactly what Nietzsche was saying in his words? Is it almost exactly what Carl Jung was saying? Is it almost exactly what the book Master as the Emissary was saying? Is it almost exactly what the Taoists were saying? Yes. Are all of these people more intelligent and more correct than other people? Yes. Does that mean that there is an underlying thing, which is God, that people can get close to experiencing, which is more accurate than what other people are experiencing, and therefore their truth claims are technically, statistically more relevant than other people's claims? Yes. I agree with you on all of these points. We are almost in complete agreement. However, to then jump from there to say that the experience that you had or the experience that I had was actually meaningful in any metaphysical way is retarded. It's just blankly on
But
its
then it's
face
like I was gonna
retarded
say
and
that then
puts
like
in the face of
every
anything
single
meaningful.
experience you could ever have is metaphysically not meaningful. But like there is metaphysics in everything, so why would that metaphysical thing be thrown away?
It's like you have to understand the meaningless as the meaning. Like to say that that thing had meaning, to say that thing had more meaning. every individual thing is rendered meaningless by the abundance of possible meaning, by the that one. It's like saying like
Hold on.
I don't know. It's like
I don't know what's wrong here. No, you're one there that's there. Yeah. Yeah, so don't grab that one. I don't know. You should know where yours is. You can't look for it. Maybe you have to do this. All right. What were you saying?
it's that experience that you had is not any more accurate to God, to himself, than any other experience. To
In
God,
comparison to
the
what?
only experience, huh?
In comparison to what?
Like anything, like
Like, it's
the experience
closer
that
to
you had at
reality, and it
your,
makes sense metaphysically or scientifically why the the
it's not
removal of brain
closer
patterns
to
would make you
reality.
see more
It's
of
not
reality.
closer to reality. It is a part of reality. God, God, there's no like combat sports example. There's no like video game example. There's no like coding example. There's like no analogy for what I'm trying to say. I know it exists out there. I'm assuming it's gonna be some mathematical analogy that's probably mathematics I don't even know yet. But it's like is a dog more similar to you than a Klein bottle? Yes. But then is that appropriate to say that by experiencing a dog that like you are experiencing something like closer to the truth of what it means to be human? It's like no, it's like it's like like it's meaningless. It's meaningless. It's like it's the thing, the part of you which thinks that that's true is just a
But I
distortion
know that
of
it is
the
an
actual
accurate
thing which is
it
true.
is an accurate representation of reality, and I know that you cannot just get
It
like
isn't an accurate representation of reality. It's a fucking neuronal shit mimicry. It's a mockery. It's a
then I don't think
petulant
you understand the
little
exact connotations
annoying
of what it
buzzing that a
means, because
little
what it
tiny
means is beyond
fragment of
any
God
like
came up
it's
with.
not beyond any language.
Okay, I guess this is it's got to be something like this. It's got to be something like does a monkey does a monkey communicate in a way bacteria cannot? Yes. But does that mean that the monkey is using language? Like, no, it doesn't. Like, just because a monkey is capable of more complex forms of of articulation does not mean that it can speak with language. It does not mean that it has the parts of the brain necessary to actually understand things like forwards and backwards in time and um like the butterfly effect and things
But
like
how
that.
does that
Like
have to do with
just
it?
because
Why
it
can't a
can
human accurately view infinity?
because
Why can't
you're
the
fucking
finite actively?
three-dimensional, you dumbass.
What
Because
is
you're
it?
literally conformed to a fucking monkey is why. Like literally, God, it's like the part of you which is thinking that part is closer to God is God thinking that. Of course it's not, you fucking retard. Like God had to form himself into that. Like it's like the thing what you're talking about is such a horrific representation if you could actually zoom out. Like my best explanation, my best human explanation, my thrashing is like I bet if you could see the actual bigger picture, it's so wrong. It's so inconceivably false. Like, is it the most correct thing that a human could ever come up with? Yes. What would a fucking big alien think about it? He would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and cry and laugh some more. How unbelievably childish my ideas of God were. Because, like, even though I think it's correct, and even though it's more correct than other humans' formulations, is it actually meaningful? Of course not. Of course it is not. It's the only thing that it is more statistically accurate. It's more able to make predictions. Like that's it. Like that's all it is. That's what truth means. That's all truth means is
But there are some truths that
mathematical
are
relevance.
self-evident, that like are obvious. So if there's some truths that are like that there's a nexus underlying all of reality, why would that be like? Why can't we accurately see that?
Okay, can a monkey accurately okay, does a monkey understand? Would you say that a monkey understands the nature of God? Do you think that a monkey understands that there's an underlying nexus which forms itself into all realities? Because I would actually say yes. I would say a monkey does understand that. I would say it is impossible to exist in any capacity and to not understand that innately. So, by that metric, monkeys can understand the nature of God and humans can understand the nature of God. Would I say that a monkey could understand the nature of God the same way that a human could? No, I would say that it absolutely cannot, because a monkey will never be able to have thoughts thinking about God's linearity, the delineation of
Right, so we can see a
aspects of
more
God from other
accurate
aspects of God.
representation, so it is more percentagely correct. It's not absolutely correct, not 100% the absolute truth, because it's still a finite perception of it. I agree with that, but to say that it's not, you got to see a wider perception of it that is still true, but still not
It's like
100% of
Trevor,
the truth. It is more true than what we're
it's like
seeing right
saying
here around us right now.
is gravity a true nature of God? Is gravity a part of God? Yes, gravity is a part of God. And then you're making the mistake of saying, well, then gravity must exist across all of God. And it's like, no, not even close. No, gravity is a part of this. Gravity is a part of
But
God
if you're
insofar.
saying that there's another part of reality, any other part of reality, then it has to come from something. So then I'm talking about that thing.
But the issue is that you're not. You think that you are, but you're just a what would you like, mother? What's up? What's up?
So I have a C in psychology.
Okay. Yeah, what's up?
And I have a paper due tonight.
Okay. Yeah, what's up? Okay, yeah, what's up?
It's a 5-page paper
Okay, you should keep telling me details.
on who I am and where I came from.
What's the professor's name? Yeah?
Davis.
Yeah, what time's your next class? Do you know what his phone number is? What's his email? Yeah, I don't need more information about what it's like. I need you to know what you want me to do.
I can't fail this class.
You probably shouldn't fail it then.
Like all the other things have points on them. This one didn't. Self-analysis assignment. It doesn't say paper.
Yep.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I didn't have this. I have no idea.
Essay.
It
said
I don't know about that.
assignment. So I just thought it was something I was going to be able to do.
Yeah.
It's due tonight.
Yep.
It's 5-page paper.
You should probably stop talking and do it, yeah.
Took nighttime medicine. I feel like crap.
Seems like you should maybe never do that again, retard. Somehow every night I walk in, you're like, I just gave myself Quaaludes and I've got 3 assignments due. It's like, well, how'd you do that? Yeah, I mean, use ChatGPT. That really shouldn't even be that hard, I don't think. That'd be. I mean, you just tell.
Just make it up. It's not really.
No, you just do. You have ChatGPT write it, and when ChatGPT talks about going to Chuck E. Cheese, and you didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese, then you change that. But if it talks about eating pizza, and you eat pizza, then you keep it. Do you understand? You keep the parts that are true. You don't understand what I just said?
No, I do, but I don't know how to get it to do that.
Do you know how to get it to do what?
To write a paper on that.
I've shown you 9 times.
You write a paper how to get an answer. What, Trevor?
You literally just tell it. It's like a conversation.
Exact same. You just copy and paste. Let her fucking throw the box around though. Who cares? Trevor's. I don't know. Who knows? Or something foolish. I think he said it's funny to hear the conversation. But yeah, just put it prompt for prompt. Ask the thing to do it. You have 5-page assignment. Say, hey, write 5 pages. It does the things you ask it to do. Understand? You ask it to do something, it does it. Imagine a genie. Oh, do you get that? Can you imagine asking genie questions? Now imagine trying to be a genie. And now if you have any problems with that, come back and ask me. I will answer specific questions.
Like it literally says I was going to show you. It's like your earliest memories.
Yeah.
Like it lays out everything.
Mhm.
Experiences in school. Your first school experience.
Yep.
It says that.
Yep.
Like, and it's like you're like, what?
Yeah. Congratulations, Fred. Have your time wasted. Strap in, bitch. Huh? What is it? What is it?
So I say, how do I prompt it specifically?
Like what you just said? You prompt it specifically. Like I don't like. What do you like? If I wanted it to write a paper about how much I love cheese pizza, I would say write a paper about how much I love cheese pizza. If your professor is telling you write a paper, write 3 paragraphs about your first sexual experience, then you tell ChatGPT, guess what? Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to guess it, and then I'm gonna give you a big hint. The big hint is you'd say write 3 paragraphs about my first sexual experience. So then you do one question at a time. So if the first question is, what was your first sexual experience? Write 3 paragraphs. Then what would you say to ChatGPT? What would you say?
But I mean, so each little point, and I say write a paragraph.
You say whatever he says to you. This is not rocket science. You say what he says.
And you tell it to make up its own.
Yes, and then you edit it to be you. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think you do at all. I think you're walking away and you didn't hear a word I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. The it's like it's like a monkey like thinking it understands language. It's like does it understand maybe there's a monkey out there that by thinking it understands language it can get more done. And maybe that monkey by thinking that it understands how to speak English and make hand signs or whatever, Coco the gorilla, maybe by yeah, okay, that's a perfect example. Is there a monkey out there was it was named with Coco gorilla that could do sign language enough to get things from humans? Yes. What did that increase it? Are you still there, by the way?
Yes, I'm here.
Did that increase its statistical ability to get bananas from humans? Yes. Did it understand that the signed banana was correlative with it receiving a banana? Yes. Could that monkey speak? No. Even if it was statistically relevant and even if it made predictive claims that came to fruition, which is all that really matters, and that's what I call truth because that's the only meaningful definition of truth. So by that metric, was that monkey truly speaking sign language? Yes, because it got what it wanted. But could it actually understand sign language? Could it formulate sentences like a human? Could that gorilla actually say with its hands, "I want a banana. Please give me a banana"? No, all it could say was, "Banana, give me banana, banana, me eat, please, banana, now, banana." That's all it could say because it didn't understand language. All it understood was the significance with it putting up its thumb and pinky, and then it potentially receiving a banana, and it could never tie together the ability to formulate words.
But in the same
As
way,
sentences.
the gorilla can't know about the solar system. It can't know about the planet. It can't know about the galaxy. But humans do. So why can humans know about this stuff, but not know about where they come from? Why are we putting a boundary on what humans can know? Because they seem to be very intelligent so far.
Like, why couldn't I say the same thing about monkeys right now and then point at monkeys and say language? I could say, well, look at this. Monkeys evolved into this. They clearly have the capability. Monkeys, they can evolve and they can't speak English. I don't understand why the gibbons don't just speak English. Why didn't you see the gorillas walking around with a society? I don't understand. Why didn't they just formulate money and start? I don't understand why the chimpanzees don't have a tree government. I just don't see it. They clearly have the capability. So, well, why not? Well, let's see. Well,
Because
it's
they are
because
literally
that
they are not mentally they don't have a cognition enough, they're not intelligent enough, they don't have enough
you
experience to
literally
do
are
that as a
not
species.
anywhere fucking close. You are not. You are.
They
You are
no, that
not.
is actually biologically true. Their brains are not capable of living in a society, thus they do not.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's correct. From that point, I'm now saying correct,
Right, and we
and by that
biologically have
same
the
metric,
ability to do and live in a society and to know things about the universe that they cannot. That's what I'm saying. So one of those things is where we come
yes,
from.
yes, and what I'm saying is that in the exact same way that monkeys can form a pseudo society, and that by understanding the concept of society, they can improve their lives. They'll never understand a society in the same way humans do, and they'll never be able to utilize it the same way humans do. In the same way, apes can use language to get bananas, but they cannot use language to formulate a full thought. That is
But
the
what are you even
exact
comparing
same way that
humans
you
to?
are.
What is this thing that can understand it that we cannot? And why are we saying that we cannot?
Because it's why can't you right now understand what the moon is going to do over the course of the next year? Do humans have the capability to do that? Yes.
No, because they're limited.
Did you?
Everything about them is finite in nature, including their
Yeah,
cognition and perception.
that's true. But no, I'm saying we can predict what the moon's going to do next year with math.
With enough knowledge. But I thought you meant like telepathy-wise.
No. With math, can we predict what the moon's going to do over the next year? Yes, we can get down a predictive model, which is going to say the moon is going to do this over the next year. By getting down that predictive model, like, do you have what is true? At any point, that could change based on any variable. The predictive model is not reality. The predictive model is just making statements about reality, and the predictive model is only true insofar as its ability to actually reap reward. And so,
But there's a difference in, let's say, like making predictive models about the moons and Neil Armstrong walking on the moon himself, right? So that gives different analysis that you wouldn't be able to learn otherwise.
The difference is, if you think you're ever going to walk on the moon, you're a fucking actual numbskull. That's the difference. The difference is that if you think that you have the computing power necessary to see anything
I think most humans have the ability to see at least the bare minimum of underlying this reality, the bare minimum if they try hard enough, or stunning happens. I don't know.
In the same way monkeys can perceive the bare minimum, but they will never perceive anything like the whole that me or you are capable of perceiving. That is the same way that we are capable of perceiving the bare minimum, but we will never come anywhere close to perceiving the maximum.
Right, I agree with that. I agree that there's going to be a maximum of a set of all sets. We can understand the set of all sets, but not the set of all sets. I get that. But there's at least, our understanding of that set is still accurate to some degree, and it makes sense as to why.
No, it's just, that will only get you bad places. I'm not in my prime right now. Today is not a day that I spent thinking, so I'm not capable of formulating exactly why. Yeah, to go back to the gorilla example, it's like, will you be able to talk about God in a way that will get you more bananas? Yes. Will by thinking about that experience that you had on Sub 1, will you be able to potentially get yourself more bananas or more moments of ataraxy or more moments of like
but then
religious
it's like,
ecstasy?
why in that moment could my brain produce that experience, and why did it do that, and why did I learn those particular insights? It's not just based on randomness.
Do you think that maybe it's because of evolution, you fucking pea brain?
Yeah, literally, God created this universe to be himself, to understand the universe, and a part of that is to, if you understand yourself, that is better to evolve. If you understand yourself better, if God experiences himself to the most efficient way possible, that is evolutionary advantage. Yes, but that's all metaphysics.
I don't.
So me seeing the source of reality, or the source of reality creating a universe to see back itself, is an advantage in that world. Yes.
So you think it's an evolution? So you think it's so you think that humans? Oh, so I'm just gonna put it this way: whatever God is, what you would need to compute him is going to be about 15 layers beyond whatever the fuck a quantum computer is. It's going to be inconceivably farther than whatever technology we will ever be capable of producing. And so, for you to think that somehow,
well, first of all, I think it's unnecessary to assume that you would need external technology to do that, when I think we are that technology in the first place.
No, you are not. It's not. You are not that technology. You that technology has formed itself into you.
I feel like the universe has been evolving for years, millions and millions of years, to do this one thing, which is to look at itself. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, so is a monkey, fuck ass.
Right, and we're doing a lot better job at it, and we can know more about it, and its particular goal is to learn as much about itself as possible. And we are learning about much more than a monkey could.
Yeah, I didn't deny that. None of that goes against what I'm saying. The thing that I'm saying is that your limitations are going to render it where you will never get above a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percentile. You will never get anywhere even close to the range of making meaningful claims. You're not biologically capable.
Just I don't see, like, what is the claim that is so unfounded? That's like, if you can see everyone else talking about it, and it is absolutely certain and true by all the metrics of truth, why would it not be? Like, what are you saying to do with it?
It's like saying everyone can talk about gravity. Does that mean gravity is true across all dimensions? Of course the fuck it is not. Of course it is not. Like, Just because everyone says it is true does not mean that it is true. It just means that it is likely to be true. And even if everyone throughout all of history said that the fucking corona vaccines could give you bubonic plague, it does not make it true. It just means that, well, if Albert Einstein said it and Nietzsche said it and everyone else said it, then we should probably evaluate it as potentially true and then check its statistical relevance in reality.
But then you
Like,
directly experience it for yourself, and it directly matches what people have
no,
been
you never
saying.
directly. No, you've never
At the very
directly
least,
experienced it. You never will.
what I've experienced is the same thing that other humans have experienced and talked about.
Nope, nope. It's similar. It's similar, and there's an underlying thing. Like we agree so much. This is retarded. A lot of this is getting caught in language. I think there's something interesting to pursue under the language disagreement here, which is why I'm trying to push through it. I think there's a very, 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 very small thing at the very end of our linguistic disagreements here that I do think is important and interesting, and it's this idea that that with our biological limitations, we would ever be capable of perceiving something meaningful. It's like if you believe that, that's going to get you into horrific places. It's going to get you into negative frameworks. It's going to get you in negative spaces. If you believe that there's something true, then it's like that will make you chase. If you believe, and I know what you're going to say is, well, obviously you shouldn't chase it, but I'm saying there's something deeper than that. It's not just that you shouldn't chase it. It's that the belief that there's something which could be truer than anything else will lead to a chase automatically. There's no choice. The just purely the understanding of separation of truth and non-truth will always lead to a chase because it's inherent separation. You saying that there are things that are more true than other things is inherent, and I know what you're thinking right now is that there's a way for what you're saying to escape it, and that yes, what I'm saying is true, but then also what you're saying is true, and that if you just take what I'm saying into consideration while thinking what you're thinking, then you can avoid the bad things. But what I'm saying is that's not true. You may be able to skirt around some of them and navigate around some of them, but your necessity to dodge them in the first place, their ability to spawn in to even make you need to dodge would not exist if you didn't believe in the separation between truth and non-truth. If you understood off rip that your biology will never be capable of truly perceiving the nature of God, and all you can do is make more statistically relevant claims and less statistically relevant claims, then you're going to be in such a better spot. Like to ever say what you're saying will get you nowhere but worse places.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see the case for that exactly, but
I absolutely do. I think it's crucial, and I think that it's something. I think that is a mistake that I've made so many times, and it's not just a mistake that I've made so many times, but that is a mistake that I'm capable of making at my absolute highest. That's a very high level mistake. That's not like one of those mistakes that's like you feel stupid for making afterwards. That's one of those mistakes that's like a fucking spinning heel kick level of nuance. Like it's so nuanced that you can be almost in your apex and still fall for that one. That one's very brutal, very hard to talk about, very hard to actually decipher in language. That's a brutal little secret there.
I guess it's like the difference between like actively searching for truth and then deducing something, where it's like you can't point at it for certain, but you know that it's true based on the realms of logic and common sense and reasoning and mathematics and such.
But it's like ever identifying with that, like that existing is fine, but ever identifying with that is wrong.
But like,
Like
but you
like
one.
should your ego? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say, should your ego have those feelings? Yes, that's great. That's good. Your ego should have those feelings. Should you ever say that like your ego is correct to have those feelings? Absolutely not.
My ego is correct in what way?
It's like, is your ego correct in saying this isn't even quite as true? This is not quite as accurate, but it's kind of like, is it correct in saying that you are better than everyone else because you understand God? Yes, that's true. Like, I guess no, it's more like enlightened. Is it true to say you are enlightened, more enlightened than everyone else because of what you understand about God? Yes, but like, I guess, like, should your ego feel that? Should your ego feel that you're better than everyone else? Yes, because it is. But if you ever identify with the ego, like if you ever let the thing which is feeling that superiority actually take control and like decide your actions, then it's gonna make nothing but poor decisions. Like the part of you which says that it's superior to everyone else, it's not that you should silence it or that should never occur, because that is actually statistically true. It's just that if you ever identify with the superiority instead of just noting it as statistically relevant, then you're going to make statistically poor decisions. You're going to say, well, because I'm better than him, I can just fuck him over, and then that's going to bite you in the ass. Whereas if instead you said, well, I'm better than him, but it is what it is, and then you just move on with your life, and then you just use that to do the best thing for you and him, then you're going to have a better life. So it's like if you ever to have a superiority complex is not bad, but to make your decisions as if your superiority complex is true is bad. It's like there's something so nuanced going on here, where it's like, is having a superiority complex bad? Absolutely not. Is identifying with it bad? Absolutely, 100% in every case.
All right. Well, let's say outside of identifying, let's say you're trying to understand. Let's say you're just trying to understand the nature of the solar system, right? Like you go outside, you feel the sun's warmth. You have an intuition that there's something out there that's creating that warmth, right? You don't know what it is for certain. It might be a big giant fire god out there. You don't know, but
Okay, so it's like even this, I would say, so you're perceiving the sun's warmth. You think so there is this thing which is warmth, but then it's like, if I could show you that your experience of warmth is perfectly matched on this creature in some other dimension who has the exact same brain as you, the exact same experience as you, its name is Trevor, everything is the exact same except its experience of cold and hot have been flipped. And so it experiences the sun is just extremely cold. And that's not even a bad thing, because it has all the same ups and downs as warmth and cold. It's just that its version of cold, its neurons, which have mapped onto cold,
yeah.
I've been completely and totally swapped with its neurons, which map onto heat. So it's like we're like, in other words, was it okay that you thought there was a thing that was warmth? Yes. But it was only okay insofar as that was predictively true. And because you never identified with the idea of warmth, and you only identified with warmth insofar as it has existed, insofar
But
as it
why am I
existed,
trying to accurately model both realities when I was at my first goal is to model my reality? I'm not trying to
your
model the
goal
reality
shouldn't be
where the sun's cold.
your goal shouldn't be to model your reality. Your goal should be model your reality in relation to every other reality. That's how you get to God's perspective, which is the most efficient one. So, like, God would not perceive warmth as warmth. He would perceive warmth as one particular iteration, as one particular modality in one particular bubble. Like, it would all be like statistical claim on top of statistical claim. Like God would never say the sun creates warmth. He would say the sun is a uh uh combustion engine which generates energy which can be perceived by particular biomechanical machines as an experience that would resemble warmth. And it's like, that's what God would experience it as. And it's like, that's what you're trying to get to. And the claim you made was the sun is warm. And what I'm trying to say is it okay that you think the sun is warm?
My first claim wasn't
Obviously.
necessarily just that the sun was warm. It was the idea that you were trying to observe how the solar system worked, and that you could operate in your world based on what your understanding of what the Earth is doing around the sun in relation to the other planets. Even though you can't go out there and see it for yourselves, you have an intuition of what's going on out there, and you can measure that using some sort of astronomy and math, right? In the same way. And the more experience, the better. So the more satellites you send up, and the more guys you send
I
up, the
don't I
more.
don't disagree, but
Right, right.
you're
So,
still talking about
but there are
statistical relevance.
experiences you can have that more accurately model not only the external universe, but also the internal
Statistical relevance.
universe.
Statistical relevance.
Right, right. And in the same way, you're not saying 100% that the sun,
You're still talking about statistical relevance.
right, right. But you're saying in the same way, there would be the same skepticism of whether or not the sun is a giant flaming ball. You don't know that for certain, but you understand you have a model of that, and thus you base your reality around that. Right. In the same way, you don't really understand the source of reality, but
The
based on
goal
all
is to
your
escape all
measurements
models.
and all
Like,
your experience,
like the
right? So,
goal is to escape all
based on
models.
all your measurements and all your experiences, the model is saying this is true. The same way you have the model of everything else. So you base your reality
But
off
you
of that
don't believe the
model.
model.
Right, and
But
it
you
seems to be
don't
very
believe the
accurate so
model.
far. Nothing else seems to go against that model. But would you also
But that
say,
doesn't mean you believe it.
right? You don't have to
It's
believe
similar.
it, but
It's
you
like,
work with it. You work along with it, right? In the same way, you
yeah,
don't.
but
Would you?
obviously you work along with it But so okay, so now we're
Well,
getting
my,
into.
my,
I
my,
would
my
have
main
to
my
ask
main question is like, would you say the same skepticism that whether or not you understand anything about reality, but like the same skepticism about whether or not like anything you can't know for certain, like is the sun a flaming ball? Like you don't know that for certain, but you like you have that same skepticism, I guess.
it's not. It's beyond skepticism. It's like
It's
it's
non-truth. Like you
actively.
wouldn't believe that for certain because regardless if you could see it or not, it wouldn't be like the belief. Like there would be no point to believe it
Yeah,
as truth because truth is irrelevant.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's not even that I wouldn't believe it; it's that I don't believe it. Like I actively, right now, I do not believe that the sun is a thing which produces warmth. Because because if I were to believe that, then I would only be setting myself up for failure because that could change at any moment. Um, it just there's no point in me believing that. There's only a point in me observing it. It's like the difference between like the like awareness of scientific discoveries, like the how a Buddhist would interpret a scientific discovery, and like how like a typical Westerner would understand a scientific discovery. It's like the goal, or honestly, you can honestly even dig down deeper into the Westerners, like even just like the original. I think Aristotle's the OG scientist, right? Like this was his whole thing, where it's like actively, or the guy, uh, I think this is Socrates. I think this is the guy I've been going over in my philosophy class all the time. Um, he was the one who was his whole thing was, um, I I know that I know nothing, and I also know that everyone else knows nothing, and so I know more than everyone else. And it's like that is basically exactly what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
But it's not just like a materialist way of saying it. It's like a religious way of saying that same thing, where it's like
Well,
it's
I think Socrates
actively.
also was pretty religious.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree that he was saying almost the exact same thing. Socrates, though, he's a little dry. He's not materialist exactly, but he's like what I would use as materialist. Like in the same way, like I probably don't use the word communist right. But like I still there's something I mean whenever I say communist. Still, it's like that where it's like he's not a materialist actually. But like he's got this thing which I identify with materialism, which is this ability to like make a god boring for some reason. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, at the very least, I would say that, like, to be fair, he did die for, like, everyone else was saying, like, their gods were, like, the mythological beings and stuff, and he was saying more, like, the Platonic version of God, like, an underlying source of stuff, and that was, corrupting the youth.
wait. Isn't this the guy who never wrote anything? Or is this
Yeah,
the guy who wrote about the guy who never wrote anything? This is the guy who
just
never wrote anything?
yeah, he never wrote anything. His apprentice Plato wrote everything about him.
Well, then in that case, you can't even blame him for being dry. Because if I was going to interpret someone else's notes, I would have to make them dry
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
respect. You don't
we
want.
know very little about, like, his actual life.
Okay, well then in that case, I shouldn't be dissing the man. But also, no, I should be because fuck him for not taking notes.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, but that's what it comes down to is like, do I believe that the ball's flaming? You mean a giant ball of flame? No, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that for a single second.
Right,
What like
but in the same
do I?
way, but you still, whenever you go out, you still probably want to wear sunglasses because you know what probably going to happen tomorrow is it's going to be bright, even though you don't know that for certain. You
Yeah.
still work with that.
Yes, and precisely, and that's what I was saying with just the statistical relevance, the statistical accuracy. That is the only thing which will ever be truth. Like that's all truth is. Truth is just a proxy to statistical relevance. The most true thing is just the most statistically relevant thing. Is it true to say that if you look into the sun, you will be blinded? No, because like, well, what if you? Well, hypothetically, what if you were to get biomechanical eyes? Hypothetically, what if you were to wear sunglasses? What if, hypothetically, you were to have eyes that were enchanted with the ability to peer into sunlight without receiving ocular damage? Like, just like they're like all these retarded caveats. And it's like, in the same way, like, man is a featherless biped, and then you strip a chicken of its feathers and bring it. It's like, is the sun, does the sun blind you? Um, it could, or you could build fucking knight's armor for your eyes. And
Yeah.
it could never blind you for a million years if you could hold your eyes open with a speculum and peer into it till the end of time. It's just like it's entirely dependent on its statistical relevance. It's not true that the sun will blind you. It's just true that like it's just like only what is true is true. Only what is statistically relevant is true. The question is, will the sun blind me? And it's like, well, I'm looking to it right now, and it hurts. And I've heard other people say that it could blind you. And from what I've seen in the data, and I think I can trust the data based on the fact that I've used data before, and the data seems to be able to make predictions pretty well. So if I can trust the scientists, because they have put out predictively accurate data before, then I can trust other scientists and I can trust their data. So I can trust the overall data, which says that most people go blind looking into the sun. And then I can trust the fact that it hurts whenever I look into the sun to deduce the fact that I might go blind looking into the sun and that it would not be a good idea to look into the sun if I would like to continue seeing. And so it's like, that's all that's true. It's just like, it's all just statistical claims.
Yeah.
All the way down to the very, 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 very bottom. And it's like, that's the thing about like saying that, like, if you say that you saw God, then that's saying that other people didn't. And it's like, none of that's true. It's no one saw God because you couldn't see it because it's not a thing to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah, I guess, but with the caveat, I'm not saying I directly saw the one and only thing, as I saw it in relation to me.
Yeah, but it's not, you didn't see it in relation to you. What you did was you saw a model which could make for particular predictive claims that happen to be more true than the other models that you had. Like, that's what happened. It's not that you saw truth. It's not that you saw God. It's just that you received a model which is capable of making a higher rate of predictively accurate claims.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then obviously we would agree here. Like, I had no doubt that once we got to this point, you would agree with me. But the big thing is, it's like, I think you would disagree that I think what you were trying to say the whole time, and what I was fundamentally trying to disagree with, was the idea that it's acceptable to ever perceive it or communicate it as more than that. And I've been guilty of this several times, several times. I've said to you the opposite of this several times. So that's what I mean by, like, it's a very high level bad thing. I'm glad we have this on camera just for myself in the future. But yeah, just ever viewing God as anything but like statistical claims, ever viewing there as being like things that are more and less true, and it being like looking at it as like a binary, like a temperature gradient between cold and hot is never correct. It's always going to be like math, where it's like there's no one way to express things. There's several different ways to express things, and then there's only like the ability for expression to match up with reality. Because of then when you get down to that, that's only because of achieving the best thought texture. Because really, that's all there is, achieving the best thought texture. Um, it's weird actually that coincides a lot to what I was just talking about with the framework that I'm working on, as far as like the bottom layer of the pyramid being only frameworks. Like that is kind of the same thing. Is it's like the concept of like the worst times are whenever I view God as God, and the best time is whenever I view God as a joke, um, like a comical combination of frameworks. It's like it's not like a thing. It's like in the same way I could say, um, like the Sam Kinison bit. In the same way Sam Kinison could say, you live in a fucking desert. Just go where the fucking food is. Like, is that technically true? Like, yeah, I mean, kind of. Like, yeah, they are in the middle of a desert. If food does not go in the middle of a desert, we shouldn't fucking be taking our trucks to food out there. Get them the fuck out of the desert. Like, that is kind of true. But then it's also like, but they've got homelands, and they've got the history of their people and buildings and money and economy, and like there are going to be people living there inevitably. Other people are going to spread into that land, so it's like you're going to get people there regardless. So it's more complicated. It's more nuanced. You know what I mean? And it's like the people who look at it as like just go where the fucking food is. While that's true, it's just too vague, and it's going to lead them to just horrific conclusions. It's going to lead them to making retarded statements. But it's good to say it as a joke. Like it's funny to say. It's funny to say go where the fucking food is, and it's true to say go where the fucking food is. But if you make all of your like political decisions based on that, then
Yeah.
you're going to get bad outcomes. And so it's the same kind of thing with viewing God as God. or like saying that this experience resembles God more than any other experience. It's like if you ever do that, then you're going to get the pitfall of what's up? Obviously, yeah.
You recording early?
Yep. You betcha.
Recording up?
Mother, you need to get to the point. What was I just saying? Although she walks in right at the literal finale. It's like I was on the last 5 words. It's gonna be all the time now, Mother. It's gonna be every second of every day. No, it literally will be. I'm going to be live streaming. It literally will be every second of every day. Like not like kind of every second of every day. It will be like every second that I'm not on the bike, as of like 2 weeks from now. It will be recording every second. It's not recording videos. It'll be like a constant stream of recording. You betcha. I mean, I can. You people might need to get earplugs, but I sure can. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You just go down to the courthouse, get it renewed. You don't have to take the test again for that.
Mhm.
Couple bucks. Yeah, that's what's your money?
It costs money. Yeah, it's retarded.
No, I guess sometimes tell psychology and go back